Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an SB Reacts, where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Marina Lang titled Dancing with the Devil. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves the official music video for it, So we're going to check it out, we're going to listen through it from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go, let's do it, Dancing with the Devil. Ah, I like that. Straight to the point. Cool. Great use of double track in there. I'll try not to interrupt too much, but just there's a lot to absorb, and I appreciate the attention to detail.
You say it will, but it ain't gonna change, boy. Act like you macho, man, so insecure. Your face is flawless, but your soul ain't pure, no. Ooh, you say you love me, I'm waiting to see.
Very see that subtle riser with the snares there.
We on this journey, but my tag's on you.
Cool. Produced by Marina Lang and Mahoi Roy of Triple M Productions and Talent. I dig it. I dig it. Okay, so there's a lot to appreciate here. And we're going to talk about this track more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Marina Lang titled Dancing with the Devil. Now, what do I think this track is about? I think from watching the video, which was well produced, by the way, I did appreciate the video. It's nice to have a music video where they clearly really care about what they're doing, and you can clearly sort of understand how the lyrics sort of relate to that. You saw the interplay between the lady Marina Lang on stage and the guy that she was sort of dancing with, but there was also a little bit of kind of push and pull there. You get the impression that they were feeling as if they couldn't necessarily trust each other, trust what he was saying there. They wanted to get close, but they were just wondering if they really did love him, whether those things were genuine or maybe whether they were just sort of just being screwed around. And I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to that. Just as an audience listening through that, I think that is effective. So ultimately, I feel like, again, the story makes sense, and again, the audiovisual experience was well connected. I think in addition to that, one of the things I appreciated about it was that the vocals were relatively minimalist. I think like there were occasional bits of where like we had the vocals filtered so they were down in pitch a little bit just to sort of add a bit of variation to the post-chorus. But I think here on a track which was 2 minutes 51, nice and short, you had a few verses, a few sort of chorus sections. There's some interesting sort of builds and drops, some instrumental parts there. And I just feel like we were very comfortable with the melodies that we sung there. The double tracking with a bit extra size worked in certain build sections, and just yeah, I don't think we needed to do more than this. I think that as a lead layer, especially with how busy the backing was, it was good. It was really good. And I just feel like in terms of technique as well, we carried ourselves well. The actual track itself, with a mixture of different sort of basses, drums, and different key and synth parts, it's very trendy. It's that kind of like house-ish kind of thing where you get the quarter note groove on the kick and stuff like that. And it does represent being the club again, furthering the connection between the lyrics and the video to the vocals with also the actual part itself, the backing accompaniment. So I appreciate that. But it's also the fact that it had a sense of catchiness that allowed an amount of neutrality and space for Marina to be on top as a lead, but also kind of didn't sort of sleep on the fact that it needed to be compelling by itself. You had the interesting sort of like synth riser right at the beginning there after a few times of those stabs, and we kind of notched it up a little bit and we allowed the bass and drums to come in, and there was development there, and there were movements up and down in regards of intensity and adjustments in the dynamic range. And so as we went through the piece, even if we didn't have the vocals there, I still feel like it could have been compelling again for that 2.5 to 3 minutes. And with the Dancing with the Devil sort of hook line there, it almost was like a nice variation to it had like an almost like a melodic instrumental effect as well as being a catchy hook line, where it kind of sounded like a higher sort of synth you might do the tail of on certain runs of it, and you didn't have that back there. So there was nice interplay, not just from like an actual thematic sort of lyrical perspective, but also in terms of functionality compositionally between the singer and the backing parts with the main harmonies and all that. I think as a final note, the actual production was tight. I enjoyed the balancing, the EQing, filtering, the way things were panned in a stereo field, no weird resonances in the frequency spectrum. There was dynamic range to this. I like that it wasn't the same loudness the entire time from a compositional or an actual production perspective. There was room for the music to breathe, but it was still nice and loud without pumping. And I think for a track like this, where you've got so many incredibly crucial elements, especially within the genre, there's so much competition, you need to have that locked in, and we did. And so when you combine what I've sort of mentioned about the actual vocals, suiting both the mood of the music as well as the expression and the lyrics well, when you talk about the actual instruments being sort of appropriate but also syncing well together, there'd be enough variation compositionally, and when you discuss how the production is the icing on the cake at this point, but also crucially valuable, it's a really solid first impression to Marina Lang's work. And I'm glad I've had the chance to listen through it today. So thank you very much. And just before I continue, usually there's a point where I discuss things I feel like could have improved. I just think this track was short enough where you didn't necessarily need to add anything more to it in terms of other lead elements or whatever. You potentially could have added extra chops or whatever, but it's almost like superfluous. It's like that's just simply more of a preference stylistic thing. I feel functionally it's very, very, very good. There's effectively my review of this track from an ex named Marina Lang titled Dancing with the Devil, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show them some love via their various social medias and YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as you need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next SP Reacts. Spiderhands out.